This is Eric Mwatha with Mwatha.com. We're going to be looking at two stocks today, and the first stock on the list is going to be LNOP. As always, we are looking at a 2-year weekly chart, and before we look at current buy signals, let's go back and investigate as to why a prior move looked tantalizingly good. And we're gonna see that last year in October, we see that the stock broke out into new weekly closing highs, and on doing that, it broke out on week 1 and followed through on week number 2. And we're gonna go back and see that all this price action happened while we have a week 1 volume coming in above average, and week 2 was a even greater volume than the week 1 of the breakout. We see that our RSI jumps above 68 at the time of the breakout. We also see that our on-balance volume, which is a measure of cash flow, it jumped to a new 1-year high. We see that the performance against the S&P 500 on a weekly basis, it jumped to a new 1-year high. And we also see that at the time our MACD had just crossed over before the breakout. So these things coming together created a situation where the stock moved from around the $10 area and has since more than doubled in price. So we're gonna see right now the stock needs to move above a weekly closing high that came almost 4 weeks ago, with a weekly closing high at 385. This becomes our buy point. We want to wait for volume to be heavy during the week, during the day of the breakout. Should that come here in the next couple of days or maybe in a couple of weeks, watch out for 2385 as our buy point trigger price. And we are also going to insist that we get above average volume during the breakout. We see that we need our RSI to move above 68 during this breakout. Now this on balance volume does not look as good, but I checked the weekly and the daily chart, and you'll see on the daily it's actually close to new highs with a smooth accumulation of shares. So the daily confirms that this action here is not very accurate, being that the stock has been on steady accumulation, and that's why it looks good. And the short term, we need our performance now. So should the breakout come, we want this to come and move our on balance volume to new highs. Performance against the market as measured with performance against the S&P 500 should move to new highs, and we see that our MACD has already crossed over and is trending higher. So watch LNOP with a weekly buy trigger price at 2385. Next up, we have SVA, this being a 2-year weekly chart again. The stock is setting up to move above weekly closing highs at 625 being our buy point, our entry point. So wait for that, for price to move above that on strong daily and weekly volume. So we see that during the time of the breakout, our RSI should be comfortably above 68. It's actually at 77, close to 78. We see that our on-balance volume should move to new highs. Performance against the S&P 500 is already close to new highs, and that's exactly what we want to see. And we see that our MACD has already crossed over. So watch SVA to move above 625 on a weekly breakout basis. This is Eric Mwatha with Mwatha.com. Yeah! Peace and blessings to you.